Here come my friends.
Hello.
Better.
The crowd.
Okay, we're good.
I mean, we forgot our crown. We forgot our crowns. I can make one. Here we go.
I almost did. Like, I have a princess crown.
Oh my
I have no idea. Maybe it's none of your business why. But
Luke's laughing. Luke's laughing. We're psychic. Let me look at. No, I'm not looking at that. I'm out of there. I'm out of that energy.
I would appreciate it if you'd stay out of my personal affairs.
You're like this.
Stay out of my aura.
No.
Stay out of my aura.
Stay out of my aura. I just thought that would be funny because I knew you were going to be wearing your crown and like the house is tore up from the floor up. So
absolutely, I freaking love that. Oh my god,
a little bit crazy, but it's all good. Hey everybody! Yep. Oh, psychic medium Tori. That's my girl. That's what I've been talking about.
Tor.
Hello.
Alyssa's in here. This is gonna be a live. Well, there's Luke.
Oh, mod Luke real quick.
Oh wait. Oh yeah. I need to make
live Luke.
I'm modding
Luca. Oh, you know what? You can make Alyssa one too if you need one. Alyssa's in here too if you need it. If we need another, Alyssa's in here too.
Alyssa.
Hi, Ruth. Hey, Jenny.
Jenny.
There's good people in here.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So excited. Super excited.
I'm trying messaging back and forth all day, but y'all know what I've been doing. Y'all been doing.
All day, every day.
I understand the crown. I watched you read today. Makes perfect sense to me.
Should have like fire shooting out of that crown.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Because her crown. Oh, that's so bad.
And stuff.
So Jen, you look pretty damn amazing. You clean up amazing.
I know.
Kick-ass girl.
I know. I should probably do it more often, right?
I know. It's funny. I think you were coming back from your boy's performance, his music performance. And I jumped in your live. This was 2-3 months ago. And I said to Luke, she looks so beautiful. He said, I know. You probably didn't see the comment. You know.
No,
you were like, and this is what's going on. You got to. I was like, she's not seeing anything.
Tell me why. Like, tell me how you know you look like a dumpster dive. Like most of the time, because when I do put on makeup, he's like, "When do you need to go live?" Is the vibe?
You have 10 minutes. He's like, I just need 10 minutes. 10 minutes at your time. Hello, people.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, friends. Everyone's here. Nat's here. Awesome. Hello, Natalie. I'm gonna also continue sharing this out to the peeps. You know, we'll just keep sending it out. Yeah. We'll send it out to
everyone send it out. So today is our past life discussion, Akashic record. We have been, just so the audience knows, we've had 2 Zooms about this, and we talk we send each other messages every day.
Obsessively.
Because we have so much to say that it's just voice messages.
We don't want over here. You don't respond. You know, she didn't talk to you for 6 hours. She's like, we're in the car here.
She's like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
You guys have live?
Oh my gosh! You mean I can Lorinda Carr?
See what I'm saying? Wait a minute. I gotta do my name. Lorinda Carr.
Can't get better Lorinda Carr than Lorinda Carr.
I never look like that. I always have my face is always exaggerated. Jen put on her sassy makeup tonight. Beautiful, my friend. Love it.
Thanks.
I know.
Trish in the house.
Trish is awesome.
Blue Steel, yes. See, do it again, Carrie.
Blue Steel.
Am I missing something? Blue Steel. What am I missing?
Blue Steel is from Zoolander. The Zoolander, do my blue steel. And then he finally turns to the right.
Oh, that's right. Ooh, like that.
Like perfect blue steel. It's a perfect blue steel.
Exactly. Like, woo. Oh my gosh, I know. It's like, Hello. Oh yeah.
So
Just gotta
guys,
get the drama swing. Yes.
if there's anybody you know, just real quick, I was just going to say it again. Share the live, tap the screen. We know it'll reach who it's meant to reach. We talked about that. So before we get started, if you're like, my friend Diana needs to see this, share it to Diana. Don't be rude.
She would love to know about past lives.
She would love.
She's just talking about going into Brazil and then Africa.
Nonsense.
And also, why are we talking with accents?
Because
we always end up.
Go with it. We don't
It's
know.
like
Jen's I'm the bad Southern accent. She just looks
I'm the bad all accents. I can kind of
really
pull off
bad.
Southern.
Just riffing.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas.
So
Lauren's in
so
the
funny
house.
story.
Lauren's in the house.
Yeah,
what a lovely group. What a lovely group we have here.
I know. So funny story. When I was in a mediumship development class, like about a year ago, when I was like, I don't channel, like all of a sudden, like I'm in group.
I saw
And
you
then I
read
was
today,
like-
so I'm waiting for where you realized you were lying. So I'm
Right. So I'm in this class. It's a safe space with my mentor running it, and all of a sudden I start speaking in an English accent. Like my brain's like, what the fuck? But my mouth, I'm like, I'm a proper English gentleman. I can't even do the actual accent that was coming out, because like what I would be like, oh, an accent, I no, it wasn't even the same. And like all the people in my class were like this, because I'd never done that before. They all channel, they all do the things, but I had not done that yet. So
and you surrender and just let it happen. Judy.
Yeah.
Yes, I get country every time, and Jen is always like, "Oh, for God, don't do
God.
it."
I could do country.
That's not channel. That's just me, riffing. That's no higher being.
totally random. Lauren was telling me, because I was channeling, I was reading, and anytime they were dropping the discussion, today's discussion. If we ever read together, that's a sold out event, because everyone was like, "Is this an event? Are they reading? Can I sign up? How? Is it full?"
Exactly. Triple ticket. I don't even know how that would be. Like, we'd probably explode all of our laptops, all our computers, all the electricity.
List.
I know.
The entire time.
Is the list open?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God, that's the truth. That's very much the truth. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Nat. Hi, Lauren. We'll give Lauren a big hug. Your Lauren is here. Oh God,
Hi, Lauren. She's already been
Lauren is here.
Lauren is now
amazing Lauren.
Lauren.
Oh, thank you.
Right, Dio. All right.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the roses and the heart. Oh my God,
amazing.
You thought you grounded before you came in here, they said. You've been meditating a very long time, they said. Well, you got to start from square one, Carrie. Back to grounding.
Yeah, there was no grounding and there was no meditating. It was me driving, coming in, feed the dogs, get the crown, fix the hair.
And you look amazing.
That's it. That's all I got. And I've got this because, by the end.
That's Jen. Mm-hmm.
This is happening.
Yeah. When she gets into, as soon as that 10 minutes from now, it's going to be like, she's going to be start channeling. It's going to be like, boom. Ooh. I think I have it. I probably have another one around here in case I need one. I can make shifts.
Priorities with the crown, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
The crown says so many things.
Oh, you're fine. We're gonna meet new friends. Follow everybody. It's like
everybody.
Like, hi, Jen, and they're like, oh wait, sorry.
Cha-cha.
No, say hello. We're here. We're just riffing, talking, hanging out.
Yeah.
Get to know everybody. Follow everybody. We love that.
Yep. So we're gonna have it was so appropriate. Thank you, Emily.
That's perfect for you.
I know, right?
Hey, Karen. Yeah, I know.
So here's how it's gonna roll. God, I have to sneeze.
Go ahead. Look up to the sun.
No sky. I'm in my wine room. In my basement.
I'm so jealous. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm gonna lie about it.
It's white and space.
Uh-huh.
So here's how it's gonna happen. We're gonna talk some shit. And
We're gonna talk our shit.
we're just gonna talk about our shit. Oh, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yay!
Care,
Look
care.
at
Y'all,
you
y'all are so
guys.
sweet.
Thank you
So-
so much.
So, oh wait, that's a different live. We're not talking shit on this live. We're talking about.
Oh, that's
past
right.
lives.
Oops.
I'm like, oh wait, hold on. Let me get my other page.
We got our, yeah. We're not doing the tea right now, Lorinda.
No, we're not doing tea. That's later.
We're not doing
That's
tea.
after. That's after hours.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So we're talking about past lives today, right? So while we're waiting all, for y'all to get in here, share the live, and also if you're not following all three of us,
Oh my
I'm
God!
just
Thank you,
Aw,
Virginia.
man, Carrie's killing
We
it over
love
there.
that.
And then, Cat's in the house. What? All right, Cat. Yep, Cat. Catarina
Irish Princess.
Bonita.
Thank you, Erin.
All right, so how this is gonna go? You like how my big Leo energy just steps in like I'm the shit?
I love it. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Or not.
Whoop.
I ain't afraid of some leadership. I tell you.
There am I. All right.
All right. So this is all right. This is gonna be fun. And Holly's in the house. Oh, I love you, Holly. She and I've gone live together before. Oh, I love her. Love her.
Oh.
So here's what we're gonna do. I know we have a lot of crossover as far as followers and stuff. So some of you follow Carrie, some of you follow Jen, some of you follow me. So you were like, bitches, we got all three of you, and those are the ones we love.
You're the homies. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right.
I mean, I would let you touch my crown. Well, maybe not. Maybe just be in the presence of it.
Oh. Tell me you're a queen of wands without telling me you're a queen of wands. All right, go. Get it, girl. Get it.
How are we gonna get through this? We're totally going to.
We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be good.
We're
gonna be good.
Once we get going, we're gonna be like,
We'll be
game on,
fine.
bitches.
Yeah, game on.
All right. So there are a lot of people that have been waiting for this live that are probably like, oh shit, they're on. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves.
Starting with the Leo. I wish I could put a little heart around your face.
So I was nominated to go first.
You were pushed, actually. Yeah.
I was voluntold that I was going first, which is fine. Reggie's in the house.
Reggie!
Reggie.
Reginald!
the
Oh, shit.
host.
Okay. It's starting.
So we're going to be
I'll be
yeah,
good.
we're starting.
Yeah.
Come on. So each of us are going to talk a little bit about, like, we're talking about past lives. And now what's cool about this this group of amazingness, most of them, we all do past life. We all do like Akashic record work. But we do it in ethical and evidential ways, but very different modalities. And so like when we were talking, we were like, game on. Oh my God, what if? I think, Carrie, wasn't this your idea? Thank you, Angela.
Well, Jen and I chatted about it before. Like, Jen and I were birthing this baby, and then we both got busy. We were birthing it, and then we connect. Remember that we were like birthing a baby, and that is so Leo. And then we just show up for this. Let's do a triad.
Yeah. Let's do a threesome.
It was a threesome. Oh. Luke's like,
No, it looks like this.
Anyway, I'm sorry. We're getting dock points. We're gonna start getting strikes.
I know.
We are. We're gonna start getting like.
Don't be getting me banned, friends. All right, so I'll go first. I was nominated to go first. I'm not nominating myself to go first. I was voluntold, and I do what I'm told. But also I have the crown. So background. So I've been doing psychic mediumship type work for about 13 years now, right? But I knew, and I've been obsessed with past lives since I can remember, and I've been obsessed with spirit since I can remember. Oh, thank you. And so it wasn't until 2020 that I just got slammed. Okay, here's the thing. In 2020, I had time. I had time, which was weird because I worked so much. I was doing a lot of mediumship. I was doing development. I was doing a lot of things. But 2020 hit, and I'm like, oh, I'm at home. I'm not teaching dance class in person. I have time. So I jumped into master level tarot classes. I was doing more development circles, learning how to channel. But then I was like, I got to learn the past life stuff, because I'd reached out to someone else for a past life reading, and she's like, well, I don't really do those anymore. And fast forward to where she's like one of my closest colleagues, and we talk like every day, and she regresses me regularly, but she doesn't do it anymore. But she wasn't really interested in doing it anymore because COVID, she had other things going on. She's an energy worker. And so I was like, well, I guess if you're not going to do it, I guess I'll do it. So I got H3 certified first, and because it was the first time ever, all these modalities
Hang on, pause.
were able to go.
Do you want to explain the jargon? Because a lot of people don't know what that means.
Give me a second.
Yes, perfect idea.
My bad.
No, I was going to roll right over that part, so good thing you brought it up.
Just, I've done it before. What does that mean? And
debrief. What's the word?
So QHHT is quantum healing. Quantum. I always say it backwards.
It's
quantum healing hypnosis technique.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's past life regression. It's theta level hypnosis to get to be able to explore past lives. Not only that, but after you explore the past lives and watch the movie and you're like, oh, that was cool, and find out what the purpose of each life was, then we contact the higher self, your higher soul, because I believe like you're giant. We are but a spark of our true selves. We are teeny tiny, right? So I'm talking really loud. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. So with QHHT, Dolores Cannon came up with this technique of being able to regress and do hypnosis. So I did that. And then I was like, but this is dumb. People don't want to come to my house. I mean, they did, but what if I could do this? Like, I have clients for mediumship in France. Why can't I do that? Why can't I do regression? So then I got certified with Beyond Quantum Healing. Beyond, basically it's the other stuff, but I could do it virtually. So I learned how to do it safely virtually. So that's where I am. And so what I have found is a lot of people do want to do it in person, but not everybody wants to leave their house, and not everybody can get here.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can get to Indiana. I did have a person drive here from Massachusetts.
That's amazing.
I was like, we could keep it on the DL. Like, I could do the QHHT. Like, she's like, no. Yeah. She goes, I want to meet you, and
amazing.
She wanted the full immersive experience and did not regret it one bit. So basically how it works is like, it is a longer process. It is a 3 to 5 hour process for the QHHT or BQH, because there's a whole process before the hypnosis happens. I need to know the why. What are you doing this for? What do you want to get out of it? I'm your advocate when I go in. Once you're in theta state, I am your advocate, and I'm there to fight for you, and I'm there to ask all the hard questions. Sometimes the higher self says things like, no, and I'm like, that's cute. So I know that the higher self is more powerful, knows everything. So like they don't mess with me too often. They don't mess with me, but the intention is to find the what is the path for the greatest and highest good of the client. Okay. And so that's really what happened. What my job is really about. Sometimes I'll get past life when I'm doing a reading for someone for mediumship or psychism. Sometimes I'll get, oh, would it make sense that, like, do you think that you were from Scotland in a past life? And they're like, usually whatever it was, they're like, oh my God, yes. How'd you know that? But I don't really, so these two do more of the readings, the evidence, the evidence, because I have had past life readings and paid a very pretty someone affair that I was doing readings to, I was like, I heard he's really, really good. And I paid a large amount of cash, more than what I charge for things. And it was mediocre at best. But these two, game on bitches. So that's about me. That's my journey. And so since then, I've probably done a couple hundred, at least a couple hundred, if not more, since 2020, as far as past life regression and in person. I've got a gnat. If I'm like,
I,
there's no ghost here. It's a gnat.
There's so many good questions. I think, Jen, you're writing some of those down, or do you want?
There are some really
Those are-
good. That's why I'm stopping and I'm writing. There are
So
some.
So
really
one of these two is going to go next.
That was me.
Well, they're okay. Perfect.
So how I got started, the origin story for me of how I got started is I was one of those kids around 4 years old that I kept dreaming of a past life. I just kept dreaming of this past life, and I was running around talking about it and had no way of knowing. And then something came on in relation to that. And I was really close to my father. So it started at a young age as far as just spirit laying it on me that, you know, you look back and it's like, oh, I get it. So I was the kid with the past life, and then something popped on the TV and my father just looked at me like, what the fuck?
And you were 4 then, right, Jen? You were 4.
Yeah, I was 4. I was around 4 years old. About 4.5, not quite 5. I do know that. And so that happened, and I'm being raised by Jesus. So I'm being raised in a Christian background where, you know, prophecy, that's why I kind of stayed because prophecy is cool because that's, you know, that's fine. So it's very progressive church. So you could do that. So basically, you know, I've had psychic readings in a non-denominational church. My first one was actually in a church. But anyway, so that kind of laid it on thick. So for me, I'm going on about 2 years. I did the development. I don't know what I thought I was going to do with all the development. Like, I just keep developing and I keep developing, and I'm completely doing a completely different job.
Of course.
So like,
of course you are.
With it. So my main job at the time, I was in upper management retail, which I love this story because what a freaking story that is, right?
Amazing.
And so I woke up one day and I said, this is not the way the rest of my life is going to look like. And I changed everything about it. I'm like, let's put this to the test. So back to the past life, I'm like dipping my toes into TikTok. And I had done it prior, but not full time, right? So the way that I do it is different because I have done it Lorinda's way, and it wasn't resonating with me for that's where spirit was leading me. There's no right, there's no wrong. I just didn't feel like that's where spirit was leading me.
And that's key, by the way. There's no right, there's no, well, but there's wrong, but like,
absolutely.
Right.
Multiple rights.
Ethics. There's no, however you want to do it, right? Because all three of us read very, very different, but it's all evidential and it's all, to your point. So I was a little bit scared to put it on Je Menu, but the way that I read, I'll read. Meaning like when I go in, all of your guides line up, and there is like an invitation and understanding with your guides, and then I have my guides and we're working together. And then usually what happens is I get anywhere from 1 to 4. 1 to 4 lives. And like I mentioned, I ask for the ones that are going to be for your highest good that will help you progress in this lifetime.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
So I have been keeping track. I've done hundreds like Lorinda. I have been keeping track of these of like, well, past life, like how you can provide evidence. Yes, so can.
Also, can we
Can you say that one more time?
We all do that.
Can you say that together towards me? Let me watch it. Go ahead, do it.
So you can. So how evidence can be so a reoccurring dream multiple times. I kind of looked. I have 17 past lives that it was a dream that they had in detail. Okay, so there's that. I've had names come through. We've had double confirmations. Maybe, for example, Lorinda she regresses you, you come to me, I say the same thing that she regressed you for. I've had that happen before. So fears or things that you're automatically drawn to, like recently, yesterday I had one, she played the piano in this lifetime, but it hits the origins of where you come from. My father's from London. I see that I'm London, 2 past lives from London. So that's how the evidence comes in for me, is you're confirming it just like you would like a psychic read. You're confirming the evidence. So I'm keeping track of this, and I'm so thankful for multiple reasons that I met these ladies. But I asked, it's amazing. If you ask spirit, they will come. I said, I need somebody to help me with this work, because I was taking a lot of hits over here. I'm like, I need some help.
That's not evidential, lady.
So I decided to take a stand and say, in the community, and say, yes, you can. And let me show you that you can provide ethics and evidence in this modality, because nobody's saying anything about it, and we're all seeing how it's done wrong. I don't care what it is, mediumship, psychism, past life, Akashic, all of it. There's a bad side to it, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to show and take a stand. And so I said, Spirit, what's up, Spirit? I said, I need somebody to help me. The next day, Karen tells me we're best friends 24 hours later.
Yeah, 24 hours. Thanks a lot.
Like, was it 5
I thought it
minutes?
was like 5 seconds. Anyway, whatever.
And then I met.
No, I was at 24 hours.
You were okay. Well, what? Yeah, you
Because
were.
I'm slow.
You were busy. You had like
busy.
dance season. You had things going. Daughter was graduating from college. You had shit going on. It's okay.
I've had 3 days of not working. Do you have any idea how I like float around? I'm like, what am I doing right now?
I believe that. I believe it. So that's kind of my story. And I took a stand and said, wait a second, you can. And what I really like is I have had the opportunity to jump on and to be able to say, hey, this is what it is. And it's good to be skeptical. It's not like I think that skepticism is a bad thing at all. You always want to vet whatever service you're going for, vet it. Does it fit?
Always.
Some people want to be regressed. Some people want to be read. It's whatever, and somebody that might be right for me may not be right for Lorinda, like the way she does it.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Maybe they're like, I'm grooving with Carrie, my spirit, my soul, my spirit, my energy is telling me, hey. So that's how I got into it.
I love that shit, man.
I love it.
So, and both you guys follow your own inner knowings, and that's with how you do the work, how spirit works with you, how you do your reads or your sessions. It's all now your way of doing it. That you trust spirit that's working with you, as we said.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
One thing I want to address this, and I know we're going to address questions real quick. I've been the evidence of the Akashic Records been delaying my certification. I've got somebody who I've done Akashic Records on. Stay tuned, guys, because we're going to have some testimonials on here of people who have been read or digressed. So stay tuned for that.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh my God. Okay.
Yep. Anyway,
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
this is so good. I'm like, also, I don't know if I've heard your origin stories from start to finish, a little bits and pieces. So it's so good to hear both of yours. And thank you for sharing that. Mine's similar. So the way I started tapping into past life energy specifically was more, for me, what I like to now say is the UPG, which is the unverified personal gnosis. So I was having a lot of, like Jen, my own experiences with remembering my past lives. I think probably for the last 15 years. I'd be meditating and then I'd have a download and I'd get it and I'd get a healing and I'd make the connection. It all made sense. But I was not reading it yet, because spirit hadn't led me into doing it as a service. I wasn't called up to do it, but one of the things about my character, which I know my girls share on here, is that I really want to get with both myself and my clients. I want to get to the origin of whatever their pain point is, right? Whatever it is that's blocking them. It's like the part of me, all the Scorpio in my chart just wants to sniff it out, find it, and then help them. And that's what we all do. And that's what is totally ethical way of getting to the source so people can understand and heal, right? And for their highest, greatest good, just like what Jen and Lorinda were saying. So that's always been a thing for me. So then, very similarly, I learned to do the Akashic Records readings many, 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 many years ago, but it was kind of a mystical place. My teacher made it seem so highly coveted and locked down that I was a little bit nervous about entering in naturally by myself. So I stayed away from it. But then in about 2019, my guide said, you need to go back into the records. Something's brewing. Get ready. So I started going, this is all me. I'm not doing any work on clients with this technique, like Jen's saying. But then I started doing my own work, and this is how spirit works with us. As you all know, you work on yourself first, and you're kind of doing your own healing, your own process. And as I was going into, and like Jen, I go into through the Akashic Records. We can explain what that is in a moment to clarify for sure. But I started going in there and I was working with different guides and guardians, and they were helping me do healing work first on me. But then, this is honest truth how it happened. I went in and I connected specifically with one guide. We'll keep it simple. And the guide told me, this is very normal for me, said, this is how you're going to do this work. You're going to do past life works, but it's not just for frivolity. It is for massive healing on a consciousness level, because people are going to need to know how they loop karmically, and they're going to need to be able to they need to be able to heal from all the things that mess with their chakras and what keeps them looping in the same patterns lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, right? So that was it. It was a download. I was like, okay, I guess you're going to show me how to do that, when I'm talking to the guide, I guess you're going to show me, and there's going to be evidence. Okay, great, let's go. And that's literally what I did now. So that when I do readings now, just like you guys, I'm going in and I can see, like Jen says, whatever is going on with them in that moment, I'm tapping in, whether it be multi-life, whether it be energetic healing, whether it be somewhere in the physical body. I know Jen has this evidence as well, where they have gotten, it's incredible what can happen from past lives that we carry. And I'm sure this has happened in your sessions too, Lorinda. Physical things that have happened to people in past lives that do carry over into this life. Not in every case, and it's case by case. It's very much trust yourself, but it's happened over and over and over again. And so it blows my mind every time. It's very humbling, and it definitely stretches us as psychic mediums, because I'm like, okay, you're saying ancient Mesopotamia. I guess that's where they were, or Patagonia. Okay, that's where they were. It's like, for being a reader, just like all of us, it stretches us so much. But that's what it's about. It's about not having a framework of predisposition about what something is when it comes to spirit. And that's what I have to say, both y'all are cutting edge, because spirit's taking you right to the edge. And Jen has said this, to like, people aren't going to understand what you're doing, but it's for spirit, and it's for healing, and it's for transformation, and it's for the highest good of the client. And so that's what we do. This is in, day out. And so it's not just this frivolousness, right? Of like, oh, you lived in Alaska and it was awesome. It's not that at all. It's so much more nuanced. It's so much more detailed, which you'll find out later from the case studies. And Jen and I both have so many freaking case studies. Like, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I almost feel like I have to have a scribe. And you say this, you have Laura. I'm so glad. We need scribes in there to get all the evidence. It's because we're channeling. It's kind of hard to remember. And I'm sure you've had to do this sometimes, but I was talking to Alyssa, who's in the chat, because I've done 3 past lives on her and different things. I said, what happened in those? Do you remember? She goes, yes, here's all the evidence. I went, oh, okay, that's right, I forgot. Like, you're not going to remember every, you can't. You guys know this. You're psychics there. So, but it all makes sense. And for her, there's also that physical stuff, which I know we talked about, which was manifest in her physical body now, stuff that's carried over. So that's it for me, guys. I mean, in a nutshell.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carrie. I wanted to mention one why the past life, because there's a lot of like why. And I just wanted to add one additional thing, and the work will show you what's real. So I do the work so I understand what's real. I have been able to, so I want to talk about my own testimonial. I have been able to progress. Like we are so hard on ourselves. And I'm like, why can't I? Past life regression, as well as read, has helped me walk away from an extremely toxic relationship that I don't think without the past life of me understanding and giving myself a break and me really understanding what this is about. Because when I met this person said, my ex, I know you. I knew him immediately. I had a flash of a past life, and several, in fact. And so for me, it was extremely healing that, yes, it's so deep rooted, this relationship repeating over and over. It's so implemented in my soul. I misinterpreted and thought, well, this just has to be the person that I'm supposed to be with. And there's no other person that I'm supposed to be with in my mind at that time. That's where I was at.
Right.
So through past life, regression was a big part of me realizing, wait a second. And I'm telling you, the moment that I realized that I had not up until that moment done anything different, and my soul was actually progressing from these past life, I felt it and I knew
Right.
it.
Yes.
When
Yes.
I said, my higher self said, not this time, biatch.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes,
Yep.
that's it. That's
And now
so
I'm
good.
living a new story, almost a new life in this lifetime because I broke something.
Yes, you did. I love that you said that. I got the chills when you said that.
You know?
Absolutely.
So it is, I just wanted to mention that like, yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it? So beautiful. I love that story. And it quickly reminds me that when you come into contact with the energy and that awareness, when you do a session with any of us, like in that way, you're coming into contact with the energy. Therefore, you are transmuting it, right? So that's the whole thing. It no longer is in the unconscious. It is now lifted. It starts being transmuted, and you move from it. And then you understand, right? Then you understand your limitations, and you can move forward in choice, health, and well-being. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we don't realize that it's not, once you have the perspective that it's not about this lifetime and you're able to sit back and see the entire story for what it is, as much as we can know, right? Because we don't get to know everything. And the more we know, the more we realize we don't know, right?
Correct.
That's how
that's
I
so true. So
So
true.
once you realize that, I thought it was such an empowering moment for me to say, no more. And I wanted to mention that point because there's a lot of like, well, if you do a past life, we're talking about karmatic, payback and karmatic. That's not what it's for. It's for soul's progression, the way that the ladies in this room do it. We ask for what is going to cause you to progress. What is it that they need to see and why? And then there's follow-up testimonials of people being able to, they've had a million reasons. So anyway.
Well, and
I love that
so like with
so much. Go ahead, Lorinda.
And with QHHT, with the regression, the past life regression versus a reading, like I'm one of those people, like you can read me, but I'm not going to 100% believe it. You could have all the evidence, but when I was regressed and I went through the process of theta level and exploring the 3 past lives, and after each life you go through death, I felt death.
Oh yeah,
I physically felt it. It was, I'm no longer afraid. I was terrified of death. No longer afraid because I felt it. And there were things that the 3 lives that I was shown was very, very relevant because the intention was set to show me the most, as we're going through the regression, show me the most relevant time, most relevant place where there's information that you need to get to the root cause. And if within the 3 lives we don't find that purpose or the lessons necessarily, once we transition to the higher self, we're like, listen, we got questions. And sometimes too, like Jen was saying, like you felt that with your ex, you're all that. The issue is, yes, we may have contracts with that person. Contracts. I use that word loosely because that's how our brains process it. But we may have agreements before when we come here. But you may, this is going to hit home with some people in the chat. I feel it. They're my soulmate, like every single relationship, and then ends badly. And it's the exact same relationship. It's not that they're your soulmate. you're attracting the same thing over and over. So when you do a past life regression, you get to see it for yourself.
Exactly. I should mention one nuance
I
too.
agree
Oh yeah,
with
go
that.
ahead.
I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying, but it works differently because I've had people who have been regressed and I read it and I confirm. So it just depends, I think, on the person. Like
No, I agree.
some
Yeah.
people are saying, regression and then you believed it. I didn't believe it until I got read.
That's so interesting.
Interesting.
I love it.
That's what
I
really
forgot
came
to
home
mention
for me. I
since
was like,
I
that's
know.
crazy.
Girl,
But
you're
it
right. I
different.
see it. You're right. I saw it. You
But-
said it. I saw it. I was going to say it's one hell of a karma whip. One thing I should say, because I really have to give credit to the guide who's trained me. I forgot to say this because I'm not used to talking about it, to be honest with you. I do energy healing, karmic. Okay, I'll just come out. Archangel Raphael trained me and whoever else wants to do this, something he calls karmic ablation. So that means that the energy we're talking about, which comes through in a pattern, is found in the auric field and the chakra channels. So whether it comes through in the aha, the reading, or if you come, there's a good person to block, or if it comes through in the QHHT, what happens is that the consciousness of the soul in the body is going to transmute that in whatever way that they see fit, whether it be the reading or that. And the one thing I've seen when I do it is I see the pattern in the energy field. And then I've had Archangel Raphael. It's kind of like a trance healing, does healing on the energy pattern. I get their permission. We see where the energy pattern is, and then it's broken up. And that's what is part of the physical part of that. I should say that. And there's plea blood. That's just pretty
I work with
part of the whole thing. I know. See? Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a Leo. I work with myself.
Yes. And it's me, myself, and I, and they are secondary, y'all. I always have to give them that because I was like, I didn't make this up. I didn't train myself. A guy did.
So
that was for me. I have to give. Yes.
Yeah. So one thing I'll say is like there's another modality. I always forget that I do this. I have a colleague that I work with that's local. The one that I reached out to that was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. So she regresses me all the time for little science experiments. But also to do something called MDH, multidimensional hypnosis by proxy. So I connect higher self to higher self, but that's where we do a lot of healing work that way. So if the person doesn't have the time or doesn't want to be bothered or doesn't want to do the hypnosis regression, then I go in, my higher self goes in and connects to that higher self, and there's a healing process. It does work. You're right, Jen. Like some people would rather have the work like done and told to them. As long as it's evidence-based, it makes a connection and it makes sense. So exactly. I will say I do that. And I have been the Akashic records that way, like accidentally they put me there.
Also, I love how like Jen's saying, well, okay, I lined up the guides and the da-da-da-da-da. See, because we do not know exactly what the hell's going on, that's why all those guides are and we all know that, just that there's healing going on, which, it's all part of that. When Jen's doing her reading and she's lining up the guides and you're doing that and they have their realization and Raphael does whatever the hell he does. It's all the same consciousness depending on the soul, right? We love that. It's all transmutation, y'all. Comes in a lot of ways.
That's the big thing that I think the big lesson here is we all practice very differently.
Yes.
For the same end result, the same goal is to heal, right?
Yes.
The only reason you're going to go into past life stuff is so you can see what's happening and why is it repeating itself, right?
Yes.
So just like a medium, I'm going to use a mediumship as an example. There are mediums that connect in so many different levels in so many different ways. There's no set way to do mediumship. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Okay.
Jen, someone was asking, who's your archangel?
Michael.
She said Michael. Michael.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not funny, Carrie. Stop it.
But there are people vibe differently. People learn differently. And I've learned that as a dance teacher. I can have one step that I want to teach, and I may have to teach it 5 different times, 5 different ways.
Yes.
I may have to say it 5 different ways, for 5 different kids to get it in the class. This
Mhm.
is no different.
Yeah.
Vibrationally, we are aligned. So those of you who are like, well, I'm afraid. Well, if you're afraid, it won't work. Fear,
Exactly.
there's love and fear. If you're afraid, then don't. You got to
Two
be not
options.
just open.
Two
It's one
options.
thing to be
Love or
excited about it. That's it. There's 2 emotions, love and fear. I say that literally all the time, and everything else comes from that. And when you're ready, and somebody said, "Is it okay that I'm not ready?" Absolutely, because
Take your time.
I have had when I was regressed, I personally had a moment where they were like, Sally had regressed me, and I was going through a past life. No, I was talking to my higher self, and they were like, "Well, there was something else that happened, but she's not ready to see that yet."
Wow. Got to
Now,
respect
keep in
that.
mind, I keep saying they, but it was coming out of my mouth, and my conscious mind's going, "Well, what the hell is it? Now, why'd you have to say that out loud? Because now that I'm going to obsess over it."
Hang on.
Go ahead, honey.
I'm hanging.
Savannah, not a chance in hell
What?
that would happen. Not a chance.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
I
What'd
didn't
she
see
say,
it.
baby? I didn't see it.
I'm sorry, my 9 kicked in.
No, get in
Okay,
there.
but what'd she say?
Don't why you sorry.
Having a hard time loving myself. I'm worried the voice saying I'm a POS will be confirmed. I'm sorry. I just had to.
It won't be.
No.
Oh
Can
my
I tell?
God.
When I was going
Never.
through my internship of learning this, I had a lady come to my door, and I opened it. She goes, I was like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." She goes, "What if I was a terrible person?" I'm like, "Well, are you now?"
Right.
No. Well, then I guess we'll figure it out.
I was multiple times, Savannah.
Oh my God, the things we've all done. You should see
Dude.
what I did in Egypt. It was shameful. I mean,
Wow.
like, I'm not joking.
That
I was
was
like,
you?
oh my God, I did that.
was
I did
her?
what the- Everybody did, y'all. Everybody did. And
That's
once you
it.
get out of the heaviness of religiosity, you realize that's what souls do. They try on. We do all of it. We're supposed to. We're learning. We're supposed to. You know, and you're never. It's not about being a good person. That's not it.
Sometimes our asshole choices here are because someone else has to learn. Now, it's not to say we don't pay for that. That doesn't mean pay for, meaning like we cross over. We're going to cross over and be like, "Wow, that was really shitty of me. Oh, I get to experience it now? Great."
I know. Like, let's just get in there and say what I did. Yeah, everybody has. I think it's just. And here's the other thing: if you just take away the past lives, and we just talk about shadow work. Imagine, and we really do believe. All of us believe. Do it at the right time. Do not push yourself. If any of these modalities, don't even touch it till you're feeling grounded, and all the other things that my friend Jen, who's mental health professional, knows all about these things. And so it's all about health and wellness first. This is nuance, depth, and big shadow work. So that's the main thing to know, that we've all had shadow, and we all have things. And when you approach it with that sense of curiosity and wanting to grow, you're going to realize that as you do this work, everybody has shit. Everybody has done bad things. We've been horrible to other people. We've done all the worst things that you can imagine, and that's part of the journey. That is part of the journey. It's just
people are asking a lot of questions of where do I start? Where do you start? You can only meet people as far as you've met yourself.
Yes.
Start with the shadow. Start with digging, because I had thought it. I had done a bunch of shadow with, and I had work enough to do the work.
Stop it.
Shadow with. Amen.
Shadow with.
So until the most shadow work I've done in the last 2 years, because I had to go all the way back, and I'm starting to have to, I've had to button up the things. But the more clear I get, the more I can see better. And I'm learning how to transmute energy very quickly. And if you see me read and you know what I'm going through, you know that's true, right?
That's true. I've met your higher self. I know what's going on in that aura, believe me.
So that is where you start. You start because if you try to do this work, you're only going to be able to meet somebody else as far as you have met yourself. Yes. You're only going to be able to love somebody, right? We can go on and on as much as you've learned how to love yourself.
So somebody asked if you could see what she asked. Oh, hold on. And it triggered a thought. Can you help remember parts that are missing? Yes.
shadow work.
So when I know like with regression, it doesn't always go to past lives. Sometimes you'll land in this life, and it will be something that maybe the person was too young, or there was trauma related to it that was blocked, but that person will land. Now the thing is, this is why I say don't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid, because spirit, again, one, knows what you can handle. Two, will be able to pick up the pieces, will align you with the right way to pick up pieces. But also, the job is to understand the why, and if it's necessary in this lifetime. If it's not necessary, we remove that energy. We remove it and replace it with love and light, and will allow you to release it. Now, if this is a current life thing, you could be dropped in, like for me, like 1972, where I'm like 1 year old and like not remembering anything, but my core remembers something. There's something that stayed with me that made me leery of something, or made me be a certain way. And ultimately, with what we do, it's not just about the past life movie. It's what is the root cause. So if somebody comes to me and says, I'm afraid of fire, I'm going to be like, let's find out. If the past life doesn't answer it, then we address the higher self, and then they get the answer, and we say, is it necessary? No? Good, cool. Can we like boot that?
Yeah.
Not can we? How about you do that? I'm a bully advocate. We're going to remove that, and how about we no more fear? Are we good?
Yeah.
Excellent. And so then that's how you can help heal. That's an example of helping to heal in this lifetime, even if it's just, whether it's this lifetime that you're remembering, like a fear, something happened you don't remember, but it's there, or a past. It doesn't matter.
And that's perfect point, because someone said, can you clarify what is shadow work? Can we just all say what that is? I think someone asked that. Jen, do you mind
Sheila,
addressing?
She is in mentorship with me. You're working on it, baby. It's what we do. But shadow work
For the audience.
Yeah. So shadow work is dealing with those deep-rooted traumas. Now, there's a misconception when it comes to trauma that we're not. No, you get tools and you disarm it. You disarm the bomb, if you will, quicker, right? So it's dealing with all of those things. I can't read about an unhealed trauma within myself, right? I'm going to be triggered really bad. Bad relationship, for example, I healed from that. But if I'm triggered and I see cheating, like cheating was the most basic things. The bigger things I was fine with. But when I saw a cheater, and it's been several years, ego integration, and I'm like, so I see that you got a third party, huh? Ego, right? So that's what I mean. Could I read?
So salty.
I read great tarot. That's not really what I do anymore, because I've done a lot of healing, and I continue to heal. It's a never-ending process to work on yourself. So when we say shadow work, jargon, it's going within, and sometimes you need all different ways you can work your shadow. But when we say shadow work, it's working and clearing that trauma, because as practitioners, as mentors, we can't be triggered in a second.
We can't.
We literally cannot. So that's when we're talking about shadow work. That's what we're talking about. It's working on the shadow side, the skeletons in the closet, if you will.
The things that are covered up, that are hidden, that are not in your conscious mind, unhealed.
So,
love that. And
so,
then Savannah said, did you see Savannah's? I'll give this to, if you don't mind, Lauren, I'll give this to you to answer. Will they always show you what you need to know to move forward in current situations? That's Savannah asked that question.
Oh, yes.
I've written down, if after this one, do we want to bring up? Because
yes.
Okay, yeah. Love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. But yes, they will, especially if you set the intention. And part of, like for QHHT and BQH, like with the regression part of it, we'll have conversations prior to. And it does put it in the forefront of your mind. It does put it pulls it up. And what I found is the more we converse, the more things that come up, like, well, I don't really have any other. Wait, I do have something else. Oh, I do have something else. So sometimes the conversation can be 2 hours prior. Like it can happen for 2 hours before we actually do the regression, because because there's so much deep diving and history that needs to be, and things that have to be just kind of brought up. But your subconscious, higher self, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to refer to it as, will show you what you need in the moment in time that you are doing it. So going into oh, I got to do all my work first. No, you don't. Not with my process. You do not, because spirit, your higher self will only show you in the moment what you need, and it will not be scary because I'm trained. You're not mentally, physically, or spiritually affected by what you see, feel, and experience. It is a lesson, it's a learning process. It's like sitting in a classroom. You experience it, but you still are sitting like in a classroom and learning something new that way. So it's the goal from the onset is there's no damage done. Not a single person comes out. I've done like a couple hundred people at this point. Not a single person has come out and been like, wow, I feel worse.
Same.
Same with the readings, like, but seriously,
exactly.
You got to leave,
and
as practitioners,
if we had those things happen. That would be
as practitioners, right? As practitioners, our job is to leave people better than when they came to us. Whether it's mediumship, past life, it doesn't matter what modality. We are trained to know that you leave people better than, and if that means you have to sit there with them for a little longer to help them process and digest, that's what you do.
Exactly.
That's just what
Erin made a good point too. I want to make, if we can, I know we want to go on, but I just want to make sure Erin had a really good point. If you guys want to speak to this as well. Sometimes when I meditate, I see a flash of me at different ages at trauma events. And she says, is this a past life? Do you guys each want to speak to that? The trauma events would be, do you recognize them? I would say being from this life. How about that would be a nuance to consider, correct, my loves?
Yeah. So, thank you, Bomb Diggity. I think that, again, I would need some more information. Is it like a flash, like you said, of this? And that's kind of what I was pondering. Are we talking about this, or flashes of like, I know it's me, but maybe I look different. I don't have this, this memory in this current life, but it's in,
Right. Yeah. Erin, if you can pop that, answer that question maybe for us to give us clarity so we can answer that correctly. But I know for me, I mean, just really quickly, I can assure you guys, remembering past lives I've had, and there is trauma and there's connection, there's all kinds of things that go, but I know that it's me from another time. I'm watching it like a movie, feeling the feelings, and whatever it is, and then putting together conclusions. And I think part of that happens to all three of us is so that we can then, of course, heal ourselves, but then help others. I think that's one of the reasons that we have those experiences too, so we can objectively work with people while they're going through the process.
To pause, Benjamin, he does past life regression as well. So if you want to follow him to get, get some education there. Again, does it different, but still spot on. We've actually had the same read for the same exact client, and we figured I don't even know she knows Ben, and she's like,
I love that.
The same exact
so
read.
Validating.
So validating. Like it's my Ben. Like it's my Ben.
Yeah, he's a little bit your Ben. He's your Ben a little.
So yeah.
Oh, can I? Okay. So Leslie's asking, and I want to address this because I think it's really important. It's a note that I have on from our Zoom call notes. Someone has a feeling of drowning or choking. How do we discern this life or past? It doesn't matter.
Great point.
So here's the thing. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. It doesn't matter. Like I've had people come in and be like, I don't believe in any of this. Like, you're here.
Yeah.
But they know.
Okay.
They don't believe in past life, but they believe their subconscious will show them what they need. And they come away just as healed.
Right. Despite themselves.
Just as healed. Yes.
So do you feel like you left your client in a better place than you found them?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just
checking.
Okay, let's bring up our testimonials. And then guys, if you could do us a favor, there's a lot of phenomenal questions going on. I did write some of them down. That part though, like Ben said, if you want to hold your questions for just a bit, we're going to bring up some people that have experienced this. Some people that don't believe us. Hear it from a couple of other people. I'm just laughing because people keep telling me I look good because, again, I always look like a dumpster dive. They never tell me she's good because she always looks hot. Same thing with Carrie.
I see you this way all the time. This is how you look in my eyes. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, Jen. This is how you are to me. In here. It's true.
So,
awesome.
Tori,
I'm looking to see.
If you could hit request, should be in.
And I think I'm messaging Kat now.
Perfect.
She's okay. Kat is updating her app. It kept freezing, and we had big updates yesterday. We had updates yesterday that made things go wonky. So, all right, let me. Okay, all done. So I'm going to tell her to just come in. I got to let people in. Oh, it's my job to let people in. I was funny. I got a request.
There's the lovely Tori. Victoria.
The lovely Tori.
Maybe
she's got to update her app too and doesn't know it.
Loading.
Buffering. Please hold.
Let's see.
Okay, so she's back up and running. Okay, just
do you want to? I don't know if she can hear me. I don't even know. It's just a blue screen for you guys, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Did I have a accent? Yes.
What else is new? Of course she has an accent. Don't you? Do you guys know Jen or no? I'm kidding. I'm being salty. I'm really sorry.
So Tori, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm about to. Okay, I was gonna say, does she want to jump out and try to jump back in? There's Kitty Cat Meow. Is it doing the same thing? Oh, Kitty Cat!
Oh my God! Look at that queen! Look at that queen! Look at that queen! We're such a bunch of freaks, and I love it. I'm here for it. Let's just give her a shimmy. A shimmy. I'm sorry.
A shimmy.
What's that? Shimmy.
And jazz hands.
Shimmy. Oh my God, I'm crazy. Okay, trying to be calm.
So Kat had a past life regression virtually.
Oh my God. See, I did not know
that's
this.
That's why she's here.
I'm so here for the tea. Okay, I'm ready.
I was like, so would you be willing to be a victim? I mean, come in and talk about it.
Definitely a victim. Yeah, I had it almost a year ago, I think now.
Has it been a whole year?
I think almost. I think
wow.
September will be a year or so.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So 8 months. 8 months. We're good. Whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, so tell us what your experience was like, kind of going through it, how you felt leading up to it, like going through it, and then how the results have been.
So like before I did it, I was pretty nervous because I didn't know. Like I think all the fears that everybody has that have never experienced it, I had. Like I was like, what am I going to say? Who was I back then? Was I a monster? Because I think that's like something a lot of people worry about, being a monster. Mm-hmm. And like you definitely chat. You made me feel like very comfortable. Obviously it just felt like being with a friend because I'm a friend of yours. So that's what it felt like. That was the vibe. And it was just, I feel like it was very smooth for me, especially when you put me under the hypnosis, since I do meditate, or I did meditate a lot back then. Like it didn't take long for me to go down, I feel like.
Right. Yeah, you were, yeah. I didn't even have to get through all of it. I did for posterity's sake, but you were like, and done.
And I felt like it was a breeze. Like to me, it felt like how mediumship with me is, where it's like when I visually see things, it's like scenes happening, like just rolling into the next scene, the next scene, the next scene. And I mean, there were questions that we went over before we went into it. that I felt like I got a lot of answers for. And it wasn't very scary. And if things did become a little scary, you were really good about navigating out of situations like that. And I felt like those past lives had to do a lot with current things that were going on at the time. Like there were situations I was going through and I was holding on to a lot of things, and being able to see it from a different perspective, I felt like made a difference for me. And it was crazy. Like one of my past lives where it felt really current to me, even though it wasn't my body. Like I was like an Asian man in this past life or current life, whatever you want to call it. And it was like today. It was like today happening. And a lot of the fears that I had around that situation are fears that I currently have, or, you know, that I currently had, because I was afraid of, you know, in that past life, I lost a baby and I lost my wife. And, you know, that's like always like been a fear of mine of having a child. 'Cause I'm like, don't be giving me something and then taking it away.
Yeah.
But like, that was a very real thing that I was feeling at that time. So it was very healing. I saw guides. I saw one of my guides in there that was like very protective of me. And I just didn't expect it to feel the way that it did, but it was nice. It was a nice feeling that I had going into it or coming through it. And I spoke to my higher self.
I'm sorry, Kitty. I was just letting her know to let somebody else back in because they requested. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
I'm sorry,
They're
Kitty.
coming. Here she goes.
So,
It's okay.
do you feel, Kat, because there's a lot of controversy. There's that beautiful woman. There's a lot of controversy about, and I love, because we went deep one night, if you remember, into talking about past lives. It's like, well, what if it, you know, what if it's not, what if it's like all of that, not, but did you feel better? So my question is, irregardless, did the past life regression, did it help you in this lifetime?
Yeah. I feel like it did. I felt like a lot of the fears that I was holding on to, I was able to, it didn't happen overnight, but little by little I've been letting go of things, and I felt like doing that definitely helped. I was able to see things a bit clearer after I went through my past life regression, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes we don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes and I feel like through the past life regression process, there were things that, like when I've done it, like I didn't know about myself. I was like, oh, there's that. Okay. And then,
Yeah.
but there's a reason, like where it came from. And like awareness is key.
Mm-hmm.
And once you don't know what you don't know, and then when you do know, you do better.
Diliana.
That day.
Who
So
was
I
that
wanna that's awesome. So I'm just I don't know.
Like, I've got
I'm
questions.
work at home. So Tori is here.
Hi.
Like 10 months in.
Tori, hi, I love you. It's so good to see your face.
Hi.
I've never met her in person, in Zoom land. Hi, sweetie.
Hi. I've been working with Jen for almost a year now. We're coming up with our 1-year anniversary of working together. So,
our anniversary date. So.
so we're going like way back to like my first read with Jen ever was a past life reading. So I grew up in a very Christian household as well. So like this was a no-no in my family. But as I grew up and formed my own opinions and thoughts and things like that and gone through a lot in my adulthood, it helped me like delve into spirituality in general. So like the reason for my past life reading was just for confirmation. Like I wanted to make sure I was on the right path where I was going, because like basically I had my seat ripped out from under me at the age of 29 and I didn't know where I was going. So Mercury retrograde. So, or Jupiter return. So,
That too.
so so many things when I got a reading from her resonated for me. Like, she said I was a ballerina in my past life, and I was a ballerina for 18 years of my life in this life. And we went back to like the Salem witch trials, and I had a past life where I died really young, and a past life where I took my own life. And this really helped me to heal in this current life. I've always had this feeling in the pit of my stomach that I would die young in this life. So that really like made me feel so safe and secure, like so much better, I guess, and more secure in my life now. Because like even when I was young, I would have dreams in the middle of the night, and I would wake up screaming, and my parents would come and I would tell them that somebody would pass or whatever, and it would happen to them. So like it really made me fearful of spirituality in general, and really fear death in general. So getting this past life reading from Jen really helped me with my fear of death as well, and overcome that. She pulled a lot of evidence for my current relationship that I'm in, because I went through a divorce, and that was a really horrible situation, and he was a karmic, and it was a lot of confirmation for me with this relationship, because not really anybody knows this, but I'm in a long distance relationship, and he lives in the UK, and she brought forth evidence, like she's like, are you in a long-term relationship, and it's long distance, and I hear a Scottish accent, and my boyfriend, he's Scottish, and like this is a lot of
in a past life because they were together.
And then she
So-
brought it into
It's the
past life that we
accuracy!
have
I'm sorry.
together. So that was a lot of confirmation for me too, and it really helped me in my security of my relationship as well, because we still haven't met yet, and her being able to confirm that really helped me feel grounded and more secure in my relationship too. And then she kept telling me that I'm a 9 and I need to do the work. So that made me start taking classes with her, and I've been taking mentorship with her. So that's kind of where it went from there, and we delved right away into mediumship, and that was really crazy for me, because like the clairvoyance started to develop, and that is pretty lit, and being able to see things and making me a believer in spirit and in past lives and all this. It really made me, it's like, holy shit, this is real. Like so much confirmation. So it made me really want to keep pushing through, because I know that in this life I'm definitely meant for this work in some form or fashion, and it made me believe in myself as well. And then I started to hit a roadblock, and Jen was like, nope, it's time to work into your trauma. So that's kind of where we went from there. So after
Out of that, gangbusters.
Yeah.
I did a remote viewing exercise, and I felt invaded. Not if you're dog laying on a bed right now in the house. Like this, y'all follow, of course, Kitty Cat Meow, because she's amazing. Also,
She's awesome.
absolutely
Love her.
amazing. But the shadow work, and thank you, I did not cry. Like it's weird because I know that, but then when you hear it, it's like you never wear makeup, Jen. But it's amazing to hear that. So thank you for sharing that. But absolutely amazing. So it's a process, right? Mm-hmm. It's a process.
Yeah. It's a process. Yeah. And then she did a health scan for me, and it made me go to the doctor, and she was spot on with the health scan. So that made me a believer in that. So anybody wants to come at me with health scan, I'm a believer in that one. I can give you proof. I can give you evidence, because I went to the doctor and she was spot on. And then we've done Akashic reads together, which was a huge confirmation for things in my life as well, and being able to find my soul purpose and moving forward with that. And then just the confirmation of like Jen said, we did a remote viewing exercise, and that was a lot of confidence. And Akashic where I was looking at her higher self, and then that was a lot of confirmation for me too. And then she, my friend Tanya, my bestie Tanya, allowed me to go in on her Akashic read, and that was really interesting to have confirmation for that as well, because it's like Jen and I were seeing a lot of the same things. And
she wrote it down, hands up, hands up, 7 up, like her hands were up, and she had written down half of what I saw, because she is developing in past lives, working on development. And Tanya gave consent, of course, to tell her story. Yeah. I just, for the crowd, I knew that. But
Just for the crowd.
She's my bestie, my love.
Did you have the thing? Wait, there's a piece of evidence I remember hearing about this. Thank you, sir. Now a real cowboy. Is there a piece of evidence that you knew about her mom naming her Victoria? What was that? I remember that, and I wasn't even in the reading. Can someone please talk about that?
So my mom always talks about the story of how my brother when he was born with a lot of health problems, and my mom wanted another baby so badly, so she prayed and prayed and prayed every night. And then she had a dream one night that she was going to have a girl, and she was to name her Victoria. And she tells that story all like, I've known Jen for a year and have never told her this story ever. And she brought that up in my Akashic read, and I was like, jaw drop on the floor.
Her higher self grabbed my arm, and there was no questions. I said, before you were formed in your womb, your mother knew your name. You were meant to be Victoria, and she had a dream about it. There was no questions. And she was
Did you also have like an imprint on your arm?
Yes.
Why I remember calling
I've never had that
even...
happen. I was like,
right.
What the crap is that? I wasn't holding my hand. Yeah. I'm usually like feet down, hands down, hold on when I'm in there. But that was crazy. That was new. The actual feeling, because I'm not the touch, but things are changing as I continue to work on my shadow work. So things are changing, and I'm feeling a lot more than I've ever felt before. And so I felt, and I was like, ooh, and it felt like that channel. Before I don't talk like that. Before you were even
now
born,
you do. Now you do.
I hadn't. Yes, to be fair, I had not. So that was crazy, and I knew without doubt. That's the thing, is the doubt and the imposter syndrome is going. I knew what I was saying is truth. I know now when I see, I know it's truth. Maybe I interpreted it wrong, and Spirit will bring it back around, but I know that it's truth. So,
hands up.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Tori. Thank you, Kat.
Thank you for having me.
So, but I've got a question for the two of you. I have a question before we boot them out.
Don't boot them out. You're cute.
I'm not going to. But my question is, and this can go for anybody in the panel or anyone that's done this kind of work. Would you agree? Well, I'm just going to tell you what you believe.
Just so I know what I'm agreeing to. Okay, go ahead.
You can be told all day long what you're going to do, what you're good at, what you could be told all day long. But there is no magic pill, no magic wand that's going to do it for you. The thing with past life readings, past life regression, healing work, trauma, all the work, you can be told all of these things, but if you don't take them as the tools that they are and put the work in, nothing will change.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I can say, knowing Kat, Kat, you took you took last summer, and to see where it's been cool to watch Kat's growth, because I know in that regression, it even said you're supposed to be doing this work, but had Kat been like, well, that's cool, I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing before, and I'm going to wait for it just to all kick in by itself. It doesn't happen that way. You can take this. It's important for us to understand that when you receive this information, it's still up to us to make the changes and to implement them. So people come to me like, can you help me quit smoking? Well, I mean, I can find out the root cause of why you're addicted to it, but I can't fix it for you. We can set the intentions. We can ask your higher self. We can put all the tools in place. Here's your toolbox. But if you go, oh, look, there's my toolbox.
That's
Nobody to face
awesome.
that.
Thanks for letting me know. Now I'm going to move on doing something else. Not going to
You know,
transfer.
like, but you have to do the work. And
Mhm.
how about so Tori and Kat, like, can you speak to that? Like, how do you feel like what you learned? Are there things that you heard that you just kind of put on the back burner and don't even think of anymore, or like, what can you? What are your experiences with that?
I don't know. I feel like even before I did the regression, I was already working on myself and I wasn't going to stop. But hearing what I heard and feeling what I felt, it was like that little bit extra encouragement to just continue and to go like Tori said, like she wanted to know if she was on the right path. That's what I wanted to know too. Like, you know, my guides are they talk to me so much and sometimes I tune them out and they would always tell me like I'm meant to eventually teach in this. And it was like something about getting the confirmation when I did do the regression where it was like, nope, I'm meant to teach and then I'm like, okay. Okay. Eventually. I'll get there eventually. But it's like something like like definitely the validation, Dilly. Like it was like the stamp on the letter and now it's ready to get shipped.
That's so awesome to hear, Kat. I'm
Yeah.
excited for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the healing and the confirmation and the motivation to just keep going. Um, and the thirst for knowledge that I have too. Jen knows I always want to learn. I always want to do new things. I want to push it hard. So she keeps me motivated.
Oh yeah, she does that. That's
getting
Jen.
tough. We've been getting tough, and I'm like, I'm not playing with you anymore. You're ready because she cleared out a lot of the trauma, and she's like, "Good, give it to me." Yeah, I'm like, "Cool,
Exactly.
let's do this." But please, guys, follow Kitty Cat Meow and Psychic Medium Tori.
Yes.
Of course, follow us, but follow. They are amazing.
Love you
Amazing,
guys.
amazing people, first and foremost. Don't put the P or the past life on a pedestal. They're just amazing people. Follow them and stay tuned because they're already doing amazing things. So you're gonna want to be along for the ride.
Love you guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
sharing your
much.
stories.
Thank you,
Please
Tori.
follow them, y'all.
Thank you, Kitty Cat. Meow. I can't do without
Meow.
And I don't know how to boop you out, so you have to take yourselves out.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I was going to pull up my thing, so I was going to say, of course, I pull it up, and then it's like, oh, where's my notes? You know, just waiting here. So I was going to go, okay, so the women that I normally work with who gave me permission to share her story, I'd love to share this. It's, her name is Renee, and she's actually, yes. Do you know Renee? What's that? What were we going to say?
I was just going to say she was unable to attend.
Yeah,
tonight.
she was unable to attend. She's at a conference. So she gave me permission to give her story. This is really interesting. Of course, like all three of us, there's so many stories. I mean, there's so many stories, it's almost overwhelming. But so if everyone wants to know more, we can always talk about that, continuing. But okay, this is a really interesting story. So Renee came to me and I'd already read for her just kind of like shorter readings about more topic related. But she came to me a week before she was scheduled for a surgery. This was a major surgery. This surgery was to clear out a blockage below her brain. And she kept having a reoccurring vision over and over and over again that she was going to die on the operating table. And she could not come to terms with it. And she says, it's debilitating. I just keep saying I'm going to pass. And then I think someone who was an amateur reader, which is always like, oh, someone looked at your aura, that it was a past life they read, not current. Someone said to her, yeah, I think something's going to happen to you. You know what I mean? It was like adding to the whole spice. So I said, and then she also had in the same moment, a terrifying fear of getting killed in a car accident. And these two things were debilitating to her. So she came to me for a reading and I went deep into the Akash. And the interesting thing so it's like what we're saying, when you go into that space, which is into that dimension, we should also note that that's why you're able to tap into past lives, because it really exists where spirit exists, which is there's no time or space on an energy level. That's why it feels like it's happening now. So I tuned in immediately to this past life that actually in time and space wasn't that long ago. I think it was in the 1920s. And right away I was taken into where she was in a vehicle with her husband, who actually is her. It was almost like it was those really tactile ones. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I saw her driving with her husband, and then I saw they had a major car accident in this. I could feel the impact. And then she was taken to an operating room, and they were working on this area at the base of the brain. And I saw her in that life leave her body, do an assessment, and then travel back in. In that lifetime, her husband was killed. But also the damage that was done to her during that lifetime completely debilitated her, but it was also connected in with where the injury was, where the surgery was. And again, didn't know all the nuance of this. So the past life that was there was so visceral for her, and you guys know what that's like. It was so visceral for her that she was scared to go to the hospital that she wasn't going to wake up before the reading. And then once she understood it, and then that's when we did the healing work on that area in her body energetically. And she walked out of that, and I love her testimony now. She said it completely released that fear of me going on the operating table. I saw that. And I'm getting the chills. That's my best testimony. We have a million other ones that we could go on. Both of us can go on and on. I mean, it's kind of boring. It's like there's so much evidence.
Yes.
We could write a whole manual. It happens to us week after week. It's so much, but that changed her life. That changed her life. And she watched the surgery went very well. She said it completely changed my whole thing. I talked to her 2 days after the surgery, and she was at home resting in bed, and I could see the transformation in her eyes. And I knew energetically that fear blockage had been transmuted. And that I said, this is worth all the work we do. This is worth people not thinking that past lives are fluff. And yes, like Loretta said, yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the Akashic Records. Okay, here we go. Everyone's going to talk about that. So here's my understanding, and I'm going to let Miss Jen speak to this too. This is my understanding of the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are a dimension, a frequency, a plane of existence where your soul's entire history is it's not documented, written, it's vibrationally alive. And it includes every single lifetime, every single memory, every single vibration. And that's why when all of us are checking in, we're all going into the Akashic Records. That's what we're doing. We don't have to go, oh, I'm in the Akashic Records. That's what we're doing. We're tapping into the higher consciousness. And when you're in that higher consciousness, you learn how to do it and access it, which we teach, you can then view, see, feel, transmute, heal, and work with energy. It's the most this plane, this theta state we go into when we arrive there. We can do such deep healing work on ourselves first, and also help our clients with. It has to be experienced. We can talk about it like it's theory, and I can say it until I'm blue in the face. It's a library. It's not just a library. It is a living frequency where it's timeless. And the most powerful thing you have about it is to know that you as a soul can go in there yourself and clear up blockages, healing, everything, and go on and on. I'm getting it is why people think, oh, it's the Akashic Records, it's fluff. Okay, I can't change your mind. That's fine, dude. I'm not trying to be here to convince you. All I know is that I work in that frequency 5 days a week, and I can't verbalize it enough to what it does. You have to experience it. It's transformational. So that's what the Akashic Records are. It's also the Book of Life. It goes back. It's so much ancient text. So it's not just a new age concept that just popped on the scene 30 years ago. It's so much more than that. There's a lot of information. Yes,
it's not
that's my 2 cents about what that is.
It's not a made up TikTok thing.
Oh God. Tell Edgar Casey that. Yeah, exactly. It's phenomenal. Okay, Ashley has a question. Hi, Ashley. We love you so much.
Pause real quick.
Go ahead.
I agree with everything you said. So now would be the time to open up questions. I just kind of wanted to.
Please, thank you, Jen.
Yeah, let's open up questions.
Yeah, I love it. Make up TikTok thing. All right, Kimmy.
There's
Exactly.
plenty.
It's just a TikTok thing. It's just it's a library. You go in
So
the
I will
library, you
say,
check out a book.
so I will say I've done through theta level while the questions are rolling in. I've been in the Akashic records. I've opened a book for a client, like, but I was only allowed when it was necessary,
Yes.
and but there have been times that I've been like, okay, so can I go check out the records for blah blah blah, and they're like, no.
No, there's gatekeepers. They don't play.
Yeah, so it's not like you can just
There
go
are
in and just be
rules.
like,
You can't just free
there are
range it.
rules. There
Yeah,
are
there's rules,
rules.
people.
All right,
And
so
that's why
in here
we have
and
reverence and respect for it. Go ahead, baby.
hearing it from somebody else, yes, there are rules. Because when I rush up, they're
There are
like, "Who
rules.
do you think you are?" Like it's a
They're
different
just
thing.
like, bitch, that you can't come in here and talk about someone's none of your damn business. Get out of here.
Right,
And they
right,
will
Ben.
they'll throw your ass out. I mean, they will
So,
do it.
so I have to say, funny thing, and people my age will get this. So the first time I ever was able to access the Akashic records, I was in my I had read John Edwards' Infinite Quest book, and I learned about the psychic room. So I created my psychic room through meditation, and then like for some reason, like Spirit let me create this glass door, and then like, but it was gold on the other side. And at the time, I was not very developed. I was still very early, and they let me in. And I was like, this is a library, but do you know who you guys are going to crack up when I tell you who my guide, who the librarian was?
Oh, who was it?
Obviously, it wasn't this specific person, but like, do you remember in Poltergeist, the little church lady that was like, scream, scream, scream?
Oh, totally, dude. Oh, yeah.
Hello,
that was your
loved one. She was like, come on. And she was like, scream, 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 scream through the library. And I'm like, okay. And then I would like reach for something. No, honey, you can't get that one. You can only get this one.
Mm-hmm. They don't
And
play.
so that was my very first experience with the Akashic records, not understanding really what they were.
Of course.
But yeah, that's who
And
my librarian was.
Absolutely.
Somebody, Jen, Alchemist Jen, if you could drop your question. I don't quite understand what you're asking. If why you wouldn't be able to go, but like I definitely want to answer that question that you were asking. But somebody asked. I believe it was
excited we're talking about this.
It just fell out of my head.
I missed the question.
Somebody asked if it's multiple. I just saw one from Savannah. Is it more than one session? It's using your intuition. It's like I've done more than one past life with one person, and we've gone back in. So it's using your intuition to kind of see if you need more. For me, I've done multiple for sure, but usually I'm real punchy. Show me what they need to progress. But then we do work. And then maybe you need to see something else, or maybe you got what you needed.
Yes. I've had people come back for QHHT a year later to be like, okay, cool. I got through that phase. Now I know I'm ready.
Yeah. But is it too? Thing I know you both have had this, but you go, you need a psychic reading first. You need the healing before you have the mediumship. I mean, it's just like anything, I guess. If there's like different things depending, I guess.
Right. All right.
That's
so,
I've had times when people can't access my past lives, they won't come forward for many.
had times when people can't access my past lives. All right. So,
oh yeah. Have you done a past life reading on her, Jen, yet?
I don't think so.
Alchemist. I don't think so. We'll have to, let's revisit that.
Yeah, because I feel
guess
like
that's the best thing. Let's revisit that, friend. I did. I think the reason why, and do you mind if I out you, is because here's the thing. This is different maybe than how.
Do you mind if I out you?
When I go into your Akashic records, and when I go into your Akashic records, just like what my buds are saying, it's not that it's not a go ahead. It's just that the guides there are saying what you need in this moment. And I think what you needed was to connect, if I'm trying to remember, because I don't remember one damn reading from yesterday. But if I'm remembering, there was a guide talking to you about something. So it's not a no, it's just a not right now. Because there's something else you're supposed to be getting. Here's the thing, when you go into the Akash, it's not just your past lives. It is literally, there's all of the
All of it.
All your guides are there.
All of it.
There's deities up there. Just this is my experience again, UPG. Okay, so maybe it doesn't resonate, but this is how it is for me. But there's so much stuff over there. That's why I hate saying. I hate when I teach this. I'm saying it's not just a library. It's everything.
It's not.
It's everything vibrate, right? So what you need is what you get in that moment. It's not what we have to work with spirit. We're not just pushing through to get a life. It's what you need now.
Right? Records when I did DH and I was doing work for someone else. They showed me the book. I was like, I get to go in. Okay, cool. So they allowed me to. Of course, this is how my brain interprets it. They show me the book, and I'm like, and I'm seeing all these things, and I'm saying it. And eventually, when it came out later, it all was validated. What I was seeing, it all made sense. But then I was like, but what if I turn the page and it was blank? And I was like, and they're like, no.
Not for now,
no,
my dear.
It's not blank because tomorrow is not a day, but they don't get to see it.
Exactly.
But then what was funny was like, they were like, nope. And my guides went and closed it. They were like, you don't get to see that.
You go in there, if you go in there with patience, understanding, and the humility to say, what do I need right now? Or you go up, like just when you're doing divination, this is it.
Yep.
Like with myself, when I go into the records, I go, here's what I'm looking at. Here's what's blocking me. What's going on? What do you have for me? What do you need to, what's here in my records? I don't necessarily go to a life. They might just go, here's a block in your chakra. Here's something from your dad.
Yes.
Here's something from who knows what it is. Rewrite your mental script. It could be fucking anything. Jen, can I tell them one time when I went into your records, that one time I went in, I was like in a freaking church, like the holiest church of the world in the fucking astrals. This is what happened with Jen. I'm an outer. So I don't even know. We were just not bullshitting. We weren't going with an intention.
You're bullshitting.
I just went, we were. I go, let's go in. Let's just see what we have going on. What are we looking at? And we went in there and it was like the amount of like austere seriousness, and it was this ritual, and they were anointing her, and they were going through this whole process. Like, what am I going to go in that moment and say, oh, by the way, your agenda, not my agenda. Can you give me the past life instead? No, that is not what is happening in the spirit world, y'all. I'm going, yes, sir. Here she is. She's ready for her anointing or whatever we were working on. But that's how it is. It's just like when you work with the spirit world. You might have, at least for me, like, I mean, I do tend, like, I say to my guides, give me. Go ahead, honey.
What you saw is what Spirit showed me in meditation.
Yes, that's it too. I forgot about
That's awesome.
that.
I can tap into my own past lives, and sometimes when I'm meditating, I can see. The way Akashic Records work for me, and again, it's based on, like, you, right? What makes sense. They show me just to show which chakra here I see, which chakra. And so I end up, the way they show me is a chakra room. And it'll hit every time. Whatever chakra it is, I've yet to have it where it's like, where it doesn't line up. Like if it's the heart, okay, we're in the heart. And I, of course, explain the process. But the heart, the throat, the crown, the root, wherever it is, I have the color, the vibration, and I know, okay, we're working on our root, and this is the room. And that's how Spirit shows me. That's how they work with me. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, you can only see, and I explain, this is not like giving a psychic read where I'm like, show me something else.
Give me something now. Damn it. It's my read. I'll get prayer. Come on.
If you see that's like, show me something else. Like, it's not like that. You have to be patient and reverent, and you can, they're able to ask some questions, but it's always some cryptic kind of thing. The way I do it's
very higher self stuff.
And the thing about the higher self is I asked the clients if I'm doing Akashic. Not past lives for me. It is all the same, but it's different. It's the same, but it's different.
Yep.
Right. It's the same, but it's different. So I ask for you to write down in validation, and you have to validate what your higher self looks like, and I have to see if I can see it.
That's interesting. I know you told me that. So interesting.
Yeah. So I validate.
Love that we all come together and go, how are you working in the records?
Because I want evidence. We want evidence, and that's how I feel like Spirit wanted to work with me. Now, that's, again, evidence can be provided in many different ways. And so when I walk, I'm walking with the guide that you're most aggressively working with now. That's the person that steps forward. Of course, you have tons of guides, but the one that's currently working on whatever it may be, whatever you're working through, steps forward, and that's how it goes. It's like, let's go. And I'm like, okay, but you have no say. You are a guest.
Yeah,
You're a guest.
you don't.
So
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that. So it works differently, and that's how Spirit shows me. And I think my higher self asked for it to be under this. So it works well with my Capricorn brain. I think that's...
Yeah, I'm a Libra Scorpio, so I'm like, let me go into the mysteries. Where are we going? You know, that's what I'm like.
Now I'm the Leo. I have arrived.
Oh my God. Hilarious. I know. Mine's like, we're going to the most mystical place in this bitch. Where are we headed? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Where are we headed? What
No,
corner
so-
of the freaking
Now,
Akash?
what I find with the Akashic records, in my experience, also is when I've been in there through the theta level, is that I don't. Sometimes those pages are unwritten because nothing is set in stone, and when you're
Exactly.
in
Thank you
this
for saying that.
lifetime, you can see the past lives and the thing that you can be shown the things in the past, whether it's you doing it yourself or you doing it for someone else or someone else doing it for you. You can see the past lives and how they relate karmically or cyclically to your current life, energetically to your current life. But the reality is we have free will in this lifetime, and our lifetime it's not written. Our stories are not written. It's very important to remember that. So you can be shown paths. I have been shown paths in the records, like, okay, so choice A, choice B. And so it's ultimately just like whether you do past life regression, and no matter what, you're going to be given the tools and you have to choose.
Exactly.
You
I love that.
have to choose. It's not written.
That's exactly right. I love that.
Past life for me showed me I had a choice when I didn't think I did, because there was a heavy weight. And if you're just joining, welcome. But there was a heavy weight. I talked a little bit earlier of this relationship, and this relationship by 7 different people, 7, has brought up. I've had a past life confirmed 7 times from 7 different practitioners. Okay. So the same lifetime with this, I thought I didn't have a choice. I thought that no matter what, even though I'm absolutely miserable and my higher self is saying, get the out of this relationship, I thought I have to be in it. It's what I have to do. It's what I've
Triple
always done,
cab.
but I don't have
I'll
to do
sit
it.
for you now.
No, you don't have to be in it. You have to learn how to get out of it. That was the lesson.
That's what I figured out. That's what I figured out doing it. I figured it out.
Yeah.
So
Reggie said he went into a hall of light and a meditation. I remember that, Reg. You know, it's so interesting too. I mean, I love having these conversations. This might be another rabbit hole, which we may go down another time. But the other thing we talk about is, well, maybe it's too much for this conversation. But anyway, that's just where I go. But I think about the lifetimes where people have had off-planet lives, where they haven't been on Earth. So, which is amazing. And I can say I had one happen recently that it seemed, and I was like, Spirit, are you sure? Are you sure? And I got this lifetime that for this woman who's one of my regulars on TikTok. Remember that? Yeah. Natalie, everybody here's like, yes, I remember the ET story. Tell me, okay, I'll tread lightly. Again, if this doesn't resonate for you, feel free to release it. It's, again, UPG. It's, listen, this is what happened. So I really had this sense of the whole picture came unfolded for me with this woman in the past life that isn't a past life. It's actually a future life. But anyway, off planet. And it was her and her son and the connection they have. And it talked in depth about how they related, how they used more telekinesis, how they worked telepathically. They didn't use conversations and on and on. And I really thought, I've just killed my reputation on TikTok. I am out of here. I'm gone. I don't know what the fuck they just told me. She came back. She said, you have no idea, Carrie. Last night, my son and I were together and we're starting to do exercises where we are doing telepathy together. And last night we saw a UFO the evidence, again, I was like, okay, good. I'm not crazy. And also she kept going on the evidence that they'd had for their own experience. Again, this has nothing to do with me. Can you imagine anyone ever putting themselves in that position? but the evidence went, there's like Jen says, I'm 10 toes down on it. I have to stick with what Spirit's giving me. I trust it just as much as I trust all the other ones where people said they've been able to get on their past life. So Spirit stretches us. That's where it's stretching all three of us, and probably more. And I'll do. So
you ready? You ready to go a little deeper than that even?
Okay, give it to me. I'm ready.
So through my scientific exploration through the past life stuff with other clients as well as myself, and another psychic medium who had never had this conversation with me or with anybody else about this, it's kind of all happening at once.
It is.
It's not. So when people are like, well, how can I be in the 80s when I'm here now? Shouldn't there be 100 years between lives? Wrong.
All the same time.
It's all happening all at once.
It's all in me now.
Like we could actually have, because our higher self, and Dolores Cannon talks about this, our higher self is massive, right? And we throw out sparks. And I have learned to ask in, as again, advocate mode, especially if I get a spirit download, like you need to ask this. Is this person living multiple lives concurrently? Yeah. Because sometimes people will feel like they're dreaming over and over again, like they're astral traveling, and they're like, I feel like I have a whole other family somewhere else. Why is this? But it's now. Well, yes. So I actually had a client who's a well-known person here on the app that had 2 lives happening at once, and their one life currently was actually ended.
Yes.
And it was just wild that I can't go into it because it's a sacred thing, somebody else's stuff, but it was something that I was like, what? And then I wrote all this down, and the next client I had, like that week, I had 3 QHHTs, and every single one of them, I didn't prompt any of it, no conversation was had. It all came out. I'm like, I guess I believe now that can happen. So the whole, I really believe that we still have our sparks, our little spark of ourself still has free will in this moment. Yes. I still fully believe that. And every spark out there has their own free will, their own control of their own path, right? Yeah. We still have control of things. So that's why it's not, but honestly, like if we were to do a time machine and go see our future selves,
totally. This is kind of just like sequitur, but it's kind of on topic.
Yes.
So, Black Mirror's new season just dropped, and
stop bringing it up. I haven't watched it yet.
So I'm not going to get into it, but the newest season, episode 1, I bawled like a newborn baby. Okay, because it's talking. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's talking. There is this moment. I will say this, and it's like, it has happened and it gets very confusing, but it hasn't happened. And I had this epiphany about my son, who's 14, who is brilliant, genius level smart, brilliant. Like, I'm like,
who are you?
He doesn't know that he's smarter than me.
That's good.
Keep it that way.
That's good.
That's why he listens to me, because he thinks I'm smarter than him, right?
Right.
And I had this moment from my guides that said, we would have never given him to you. We would have never, they knew I was going to be okay. My higher self knew I was going to figure it out. And the purpose of that, I'm not going off on numerology, but I'm a 4th generation 9. And when I looked up my son, I knew he would not be. I knew that something had broken in the line, and I knew he wouldn't be. I didn't know he was 11-9. So he knows everything, right? He's 11-9, and he's a 5, so he's very creative. But there's this moment in the episode where it's like, wait, and it's showing the universal connection of all these different stories. And it's unbelievable. So, Lorinda, you're going to have to watch it, or...
Oh, my God.
I will. It's on my list.
I'm here for that. So here for that.
I encourage
we don't know half the things. Our minds, I think it's just about being open and doing what's authentic for you, right? Because Interstellar, Absolutely. That's like the
Favorite
movie
of all time.
Interstellar.
Well,
Favorite movie of all time. I've made Luke watch it 27 times, and we've been together for like
I've
two and
never
a half
seen it.
years.
I know.
I've never seen
Things
it.
have happened. Okay, I will say this. I'm going to keep this because I don't want to get. I fear that there won't be enough evidence for people. This is really my experience, so I'm not going to go into great detail. But I will say the things that have personally happened for me, and I've been on my spiritual path since I was 19, and I am older than that. Let's just put it. Some zeros have happened.
Barely.
And the last 3 years, oh God, the last 3 years, I've had things that, and I'm very, like we're all connected here. Let's put it that way. And I'm very open minded. And I've had things happen in my space that had to do with beings and energy I never even haven't existed that I now know exist because of that. Both on the physical, connected to the physical earth plane, and also connected off planet, but yet connected. And all I can say is there's so much love around us. How about if I summarize by saying there's so much love and help that's here for us, and we don't even realize how much help is here.
So
I'll keep it simple. I won't talk about the experiences I've had too much on this topic because we're trying to stay evidential, and I want to trigger too much of a stir. But it's a lot of things.
yeah,
So,
but I've had clients who didn't believe in other planets, and so when they were regressed, and I didn't know they didn't believe until afterwards, after the conversation happened. But they were like, I'm in water and I can breathe. Like but landing in a life, they're like, I'm resting.
right.
But it followed a life that they had that was just atrocious.
Exactly.
And they were very broken in that. You can be done and never do that healing work and bring that energy with you. And the soul had to heal. Soul had to heal.
I can feel it.
And yeah.
See.
Oh, all three of my kids got it, and I probably implemented it in all the lives.
My son had a past life regression. My son is 22, going to be 23 soon. Very highly educated, very smart, skeptic, Virgo. Do I have to say more? He's half my husband, which is he's half, engineer. He did a past life regression, and when he did it, he realized he was not on the earth during that session. I had nothing to do with the session. I mean, I wasn't like, I don't feed my kids that stuff. I don't tell them. I don't say anything to them. They have their own minds, critical thinking skills. They've been highly educated, and they have had their own experiences. My earth sign children, which then I'm like, there's your evidence, where he's like, my feet look different. I'm not of this, and this is the sense I'm getting. So we have to say, just there's so much out there, friend. There's so much out there.
And again, whether you believe in this or not is
Exactly.
irrelevant. When you do past life, whether it's a past life reading, past life regression, your subconscious, whatever you need to hear in the moment, in the time, will come through.
Yes.
And that's what you have to focus on. This is not, it's not a cure-all for, I want to lose weight. Can you help me not want chocolate? No.
I will not answer those questions. Am I going to lose weight? I don't know. Are you?
You tell me.
Know that.
No, but I will say,
area,
well, there's no magic pill for that, but I can find the root cause of why you're addicted to it and why you refuse to say no, because it is a choice.
Yeah.
We can find out why.
So
9 times out of 10 it's in this lifetime.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What services?
I offer a number of services. Thank you for asking.
Capricorn coming through with continuing the flow
of the services that you offer. Ma'am.
So the services I offer on my website that can be found in the thing.
The bio.
The link in the bio.
I always, you know what I say? My profile. I kept
That's
saying
smart.
that.
I don't. Why have I
it's the profile. That. Go to that thing up there. So first, like the most that I do, the thing that I've been doing the longest is psychic mediumship. I do that's the biggest portion of my practice is psychic mediumship. And so I do a lot of psychic mediumship. I do teach classes. About once a year, I'll be like, oh, look, I have a month free. I'll teach some classes. I teach tarot. I teach how to connect to your spirit guides, how to do platform readings. meaning like how do you get in front of the crowd and be able to manage that. I cannot tell you how many people I've seen on here. I popped into a room, there's like 500 people and they are in full freak out mode. I'm like, girl, blank them out. When you're a Leo, like
pretend they're in their underwear. Just
you,
kidding.
you just sit up in the throne and you're like, oh, the peasants are here. I'm kidding. That's not how I am. I'm joking. But
it's that past life. It's that past life.
Yes, it's
Being a
that.
Dutch
But
princess.
there is a balance of understanding how to connect. It's the fifth wall. Understanding the fifth wall in theater. If you don't know what that means, look it up.
So
I do that, and then I do multidimensional hypnosis by proxy, and that requires another. I have a colleague that does that with me, where I am regressed. I connect higher self to higher self. I also do channeling. I do channeling, and I actually have videos posted of me channeling. I don't have the service yet. It's like full on blended energy channeling. I'm getting there, but I also feel like I've already got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah, babe.
And then I do MDH, and then the past life, of course. So what's different? Oh, also I do QHHT and BQH. QHHT is the Dolores Cannon version. And when somebody says, I want a QHHT past life regression, I stick to the script. There's no mediumship. There's no spirit guides. It is, I'm your advocate. Because anybody who, you don't have to be a medium to be a past life regressionist. Anybody, like my husband could learn the technique and do it. Now, BQH is beyond quantum healing. And that's where I'm like, if you are okay with it, we'll bring in my guides, your guides. And it's also a really great way. I've gotten people to cross over to the other side and meet their entire spirit team. So that's part of the QH, the BQH. I could do that. Whatever. What else do I do? Tarot. I love tarot. I think that's all.
For now.
But only for now. Name that musical.
Stay tuned.
For
y'all.
now. Name that musical.
Yeah.
But
so
what is that?
I guess we'll just go in the order.
Go, Jen. Go, Jen.
Go, Jen.
Emily
got it.
So
Emily, we're BFFs.
It's the accuracy. Sorry.
It's the accuracy for me.
I can't help it every time I see her on that. It's the accuracy.
I didn't even know that was
Like
going to be
this.
a thing, and that's just like
That's my favorite thing ever.
It's the accuracy.
I don't know why. Just me. So what I offer psychism because of the unplanned move that I have going on. So my landlord showed up about 10 days ago, and said, hey, I'm not renewing your lease. You got 60 days to get out. So that was the day before vacation. So not to get hung up on that, but I have psychism coming up. I've moved it twice just because things have been crazy. So I've like, just keep it on the down low, had a couple signups, had to move. But I offer psychism. And psychism, you get to use absolutely no tools in that class. Because I cannot tell you how many people. I do one-on-one mentorship. And I love one-on-one mentorship because people who have been reading tarot, and I was given consent to tell the story, like Lynn, who's amazing, which helps with kind of what you were talking about like how you manage the crowd, how you go live. She deals with the practicality of it. Lynn is amazing. And she's like, I've been reading tarot all of my life, and I want to, because you have to send a list of what you want to work on in mentorship. What exactly do you want to do so we are focused and we know and we don't waste any time, right? And I said, no, you haven't. And within 10 minutes, she did a psychic read. It's like you don't, and it happened and she was like shocked. And that's why I do what I do, is so you can see what it is that you can do. Because these are not, if you know me, some people are going to be like, oh, I know what she's about to say. These are not magical beads. They are beautiful. Actually, let me use this Rob's deck. How rude. These are not magical beans.
Nope.
These are not magical. These are an extension of your energy. And watch any of us read, and you understand that, because we are psychics. So I use these because people like pictures, but I don't.
It's print material. Yep.
Right. So I teach psychism, and I teach connections. I teach how you tap into all the clairs, the four major ones. you know, and then the smell and the taste and all of that come through. But I teach the four. So I do that, and then I have a spiritual support group, but that is sold out every week. But Thursday evening, I do a spiritual support group where we talk about the shadow side for an hour. We have a topic. For example, we talked about blockages last week, and this Thursday, which is booked, we're talking about narcissism versus the past.
You're like laying out like the buffet and saying you can't come to dinner.
Yeah.
You better get a second one after you move.
I know. I'm probably going to have to do 2 back-to-back, but there's openings for the following week. So I do that as well. You know, you can book, somebody asked if you could book a private past life read for me, if based on the information, if that feels or, resonates, my favorite word, resonates more with you. So I do.
You hate that word.
I do. I don't know why. It's just an ego.
Because you're hanging out with someone from California. That's why you're fucking saying it now.
So I do mediumship development. I do psychism. I do my group every Thursday. Spirit really, really heavily said, because there's so much drama, and then people get scared, and then they go back in their box, and they don't, you know. And I wanted to create a community with all the ripping. Let's counteract that and bring people together. And I love seeing the connections that people are making. That was the point, that they're making with each other. So I offer that. I'll be offering at the end of July psychism. We just took it down because, again, timing thing. Because usually I would have been teaching that this summer. And then I do mediumship development, all levels, and it's a very unique approach to.
Well, explain unique to them so they understand what your signature. Can you describe yourself?
Well,
it's hard because you're humble, but try to say it.
What would you like me to say, Carrie?
Well, I want you to talk about your way of holding space and natural mediumship abilities without judgment or restriction.
Like, there's no judgment.
No judgment.
There's no judgment here. Wait. It's just the way that I approach it is very organized, but it's different. But I challenge. And it's taken from intuition, what I feel like Spirit has showed me. And there's little bits of different ways that I've learned that I brought together. But I do with consent. So I have a list of people that consent to be read. So I do an exercise where I'm like, feel the energy. Is this person passed, or are they still here, and why? Is this person passed and they still here, and why? So you understand the vibration of past and here. That's one thing that's very unique that Spirit just put on me. And
Love
so
that.
why'd you feel like, and I get it gets a little harder, and I'm like, the point is so you understand the vibration of a no, and you understand the vibration of a yes. And then like in one time, somebody was like, well, I can't tell, like they kind of are, they're in a coma. So then there's that energy.
Love that.
So like, I don't know, it's weird. I feel like maybe transition, I can't figure, and I'm like, yeah, that's the point, is like to get familiar with those energies. Right? So you know the past one is approaching you, right? And you understand that versus psychism. So I understand the vibration, the mood. Like Lauren says, I can tell. The energy just shifts a little bit. Like,
ooh, that's was sexy. That was like, I actually got a chill when you said that.
Yes, that's 100%.
But it's true.
Yeah. I love
So that's one example of that. But there's 6 weeks courses, like I said, end of July. And then of course I do private mediumship. I go live twice a week, but you have to get on that list quick because it sells out very quickly.
Yes, you do.
So I read Saturday. I do psychism after I get moved, Miss Carrie. That's what I feel like spirit.
I wish I could.
Yes.
Why do we not live
Then
in the
I'll
same
do a
state?
live
We
meeting.
got to change that.
You what?
We got to change that in the same state so that I can help you.
I know.
I got to move it. I got to move, or we got to meet in the middle or something.
Right.
Well, I know I'm moving out. I'll eventually move out that direction or someplace else
Yeah.
because I'm in
probably
Indiana.
Towards you guys, because I went out of Texas. I need to get this amazing, his
Yeah.
father's here and whatnot. When he's raised, I'm moving.
Yeah, thank you. You got to get your youngster graduated from high school first. Who knows? Maybe he'll go to Stanford, right?
I'm telling you, it's a possibility. It's a huge possibility.
Huge
So,
possibility.
Carrie, what do you offer
It's
me?
the accuracy. I'm sorry. I've been
All
here
right,
too
you
long.
get one.
It's the
It's
accuracy.
the
It's the accuracy.
Accuracy.
Okay, we're here. We're here. hello, let me be organized about all the things I offer. I'm really sorry. I'm a jokester. What can I say? Okay, so here's what I have happening. I am teaching, I call it Psychic 101. That's what I call it. I don't know why. That's what Spirit gave me. Psychic 101. And it actually starts tomorrow. My class is 10 weeks long. I love it. It's getting you to be really confident with all your clairs, all your psychic abilities. You do not use any tools except for yourself and energy and spirit. And it's 10 weeks long, and I only have 3 more spaces left. It's juicy. You're going to be just like what you're hearing here from my friends. You're going to feel super comfortable, confident, grounded, evidential. You're going to get a lot of validation. You're going to learn about yourself along the way. And I'm like these guys, I leave a lot of space for my students to really connect with each other, to process, I don't just go in and teach because I believe in spiritual healing and development throughout all my courses. Right? This is what we do, right? So that starts tomorrow. Also, I do have a member. I don't talk about this a lot. I don't know why I don't, because I need that. But I have a membership called Guides and Guardians because I have such a love of the Akashic Records and working with different deities and goddesses and healing. That's a big part of my world. I have a membership, which quite a few people are in here that are in it. It's a really sacred thing to me because Spirit gave it to me. And so it's Spirit, the whole curriculum. It's not curriculum. Anything we do is given to me by Spirit earlier in the week, and then we bring it into the experience. So it can be healing in the records, a variety of things. Last week, we worked on stuff in the records to do with trauma and relationships. The week before that, we work with Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene. We've worked on it. We're going to be doing something on working with your ancestors. You know, I have a huge part of me that's deeply like into mysticism and spirituality. That's just a big part of who I am. And it's super healing. It's a very sacred container. We're very close. And I always go over by an hour. You know how we do it. I say it's going to be 2 hours and it's 3. And I let it go till it goes. But Spirit leads that. Spirit gives me all the topics, the agenda. There's not an agenda. It's just such a beautiful space. I am privileged to do it. So that is something that I offer. Also, I do private mentorship. I do readings here, blah, blah, blah. And the last thing, I'm going to be teaching learning to go in the Akashic Records for yourself. Don't worry about other people yet, just for yourself. And that's going to be the later part of the fall. I have a wait list if you're interested in it in the chat, and that's where we're going to go deep dive into that. I usually do things in 8 to 10 week increments with that, so the Spirit gives me. It's on my, did you say on my page? Because I like that. On my page. It's on my page.
Yep.
You can find it
So
there.
one thing,
and of course, private readings. Can't tell me I don't talk about my private reads. So private readings.
You all are so freaking busy, and you are.
Well, we don't teach dance.
Well, that's true. I do teach dance 5 nights a week, but like,
and you own your own freaking business with doing that, sister. So,
but still, like, it's funny that you're both like, you're just so busy.
One thing I do want to say before I forget is go 10 toes down in what you believe. We came together because we wanted to have a voice for this work. Lot of good, and to show evidence. You know, we brought up some people. Carrie, amazing freaking story.
I know. I'll have her come on sometime. We'll talk about it again. Amazing, crazy.
We're doing this to help people say me too kind of vibes, like come out and be who you are and do it with conviction. It's not easy, but you've got 3 people here that will back you if it's not evidential. You know, if the evidence is provided, the ethics, and we leave our sitter better than we found them, right?
Always. That's the key. Always.
So yes. I want to say we have, and it's okay to disagree and agree. You know, we heard some, you know, alien stuff. And here's the other thing. I always say this. I do not care, which was wonderful. And I'm glad that you shared that, Carrie. I don't care if Carrie comes, and I vetted her and I've seen her read, and she says, so I got a new guide and it's Bozo the Clown. I'm going to ask what his name is.
Right.
I'm gonna be
And
like,
I have told you a
because
few
she
things
does.
which I will not. I'll told you two things I'm not sharing in public for a long time right now with that in that regard, and you both know what I'm talking about anyway.
So as long as it's done ethically,
Yeah.
as long as we leave the sitter better than we found them. I'm huge on, and we all are huge on evidence.
All of us.
Let me correct
Yes.
myself.
Yeah, huge on evidence.
We're
Huge.
huge on evidence. So with that, there's so much nonsense. There's so many different people that will tell you how to do this or how to do that. And so Spirit, let's just be honest. Let's give credit where credit's due. Spirit brought us all together to take a stand and say, hey, we're not, first of all, I'm thankful not to be alone personally, because I was,
oh my God.
I was like, not again. Jen, can we bring you up? Can you, it's like 5 panel people, 300 people in the room. Can you explain this? And I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
So, I have to boop back in.
Okay.
I think.
Who's that?
Am I
Who's
good?
that?
No.
Boop back.
Is that your boy?
Okay.
Ah, it's her boy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. We're gonna have to. Yes. Patty said. I'm not going in a box again.
Well, and I think that's what's really important. I've had my share of class say things like, well, you don't connect this way, you're not actually doing the work. Well, you're probably just using psychism. You're not really a medium. I had someone say that to me. I'm like,
oh,
nah.
Jen requested to come in again.
I see it. I got it. Here she comes. But I mean, like, I know what I know, and I know that I'm like, I'm confident of this one.
Yes.
I'm confident of this one.
And I love that you both, like, here's the thing, and we can know what we mean here, but we've all had our share of situations, even in the positions we're in, where people have second guessed what we're doing and how we do what we do, and that really can throw you off when you were with a mentor or someone who's perceived as being this public figure who's very good at that work. And guess what? No one trumps your style, your way of connecting with spirit. Absolutely no mentor, no teacher. 100%. We all believe that. Absolutely.
Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry that
say it.
Another controversial thing. I offer health scans and I go 10 toes down on that.
Oh, yeah.
I do not do them live. I did for a week and Spirit was like, no. No. Because when you come and, for example, and I always give this example, if Lorinda, I picked on Carrie. So if Lorinda comes to me and she knows, and there isn't, but if she comes to me and she's like, she knows there's a third party situation, like, dude, she knows another dude. And why would if I couldn't see that about a love read, right?
Right.
But if she comes to me and she's like, I'm having, I don't know what's wrong, that's a whole different story. So I do health scans. I do them in private settings. And the purpose, and a lot of them are, you've gone to the doctor and you can't figure out what's wrong, or you're afraid to go, and I push you to go, because I say about 25 million times I'm not a medical professional, 1. And 2, I emphatically say the point is to get you to the doctor. That is the point. Like Tori was talking, and obviously she gave consent. She was afraid to go to the doctor. We hit everything, and it wasn't so scary. And of course, I'm not going to get into her stuff, but we hit everything, and it was literally 100%. That read was 100%, but it made her not frightened to go. She's like, encouraged me to go, right? So I do that as well. A lot of people are afraid of that work, but I do that in private settings with that understanding that it's to get you to go to the doctor. And if something pops, I now know if you know or don't know. Like if I hear, like I was in a read and I heard sugar levels, diabetes, tap, she knows. So there's something off, or I wouldn't be seeing it. So I'm like, not a medical professional. Do you have diabetes? Evidence, cool. You need to look at your medications or your insulin. You need to look at that. But that's the only way I'll do it from a live setting. I know that you know, and then if I see something that you don't know, I had a crazy one the other day, and I'm like, I cannot say this. She doesn't know. She suspects, but she doesn't know. And I'm not going to say that live with 50 people or whatever in the room. So I wanted to mention that. It's more controversial. talking about past life, talking about records. So I just wanted to be.
We could talk about Sasquatch.
Well, and
we're not going to talk about that, are we? Just
but
kidding.
right.
Not actually.
But I
actually
also
not kidding, but
well, and
I
in
just throw things out there.
In the QHHT process, we also do, as part of that, as part of the script, as part of the process, we do a full health, like a full scan, head to toe, mind, not just body, mind, body, spirit complex, find out where the blockages are, where do they come from, and identify, remove anchor points, remove energy, refill the missing energy. Fun fact, when you remove energy, negative energy, if you don't fill it, the intention of filling with love and light, you will go find something exactly like it.
You said that. Did you feel the chills?
You will go find something to refill it.
Yeah.
Say it again, Jen. What'd you say, Jen?
Transmuting energy. You're transmuting energy.
Yeah.
And you're
replacing that's what. So that's kind of one of the things I do.
Ooh, that just gave me the chills when you said it. And Lorenda, Jenny just said she sent you a request for regression.
Hey,
go girl, go girl.
So this is something I did. This is something I did for this live and this live only. Is I actually put a coupon on my website. On my website, and if one of the mods can like put it in, like pin it, the code is a 10% off of any of the regression stuff, which is a good thing.
That's a lot of dough, babes.
The code at checkout is Live June Promo.
Okay, Live June Promo.
Live June Promo.
Is it June?
I don't think it matters. I mean, it's capital L, capital J, capital P on, but I don't think it's required.
Treat yourself, friends.
A private read for me, you will pay full price. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's fine.
Girl, and
that is fine.
Because mine
I'm just kidding. I would like, if you would mind, I'll match that. If you feel like a reading would resonate with you better, I'll match that. Lauren can whip that up in 5 seconds. We have our meeting tomorrow.
And I'll do the same. And I'll tell you what, yes. And mine will also be Live June Promo. Just to keep it consistent. Because I can go around my thing. I can do it. 10% off any of my... Why am I talking about? I'm in the accent again. Stop.
I told you.
I know.
It's because it's late.
So I wasn't trying to like bully you guys into that.
This has been like such an amazing talk. It's been such an amazing talk. I mean, I've learned, and I also loved hearing your origin stories. Hey, Michelle. I loved hearing both your origin stories. And Patty, you're so sweet.
I love Patty.
We love you, Patty. But you know, it's amazing to me too that, again, supporting what I love about this community, I love about both of you, but what I love about this community is everyone is so supportive of each other, kind, welcoming, encouraging. And we want to say this has been an incredible, incredible experience. And we thank you for being so kind and supportive, both to each other and, of course, in the space in general.
Absolutely.
Just want to say that.
Any closing comments, ladies? Lauren,
it's the accuracy.
It's the accuracy for me.
I gave you
can't stop.
Wait, no, but also the.
Oh yeah. Hang on, let's do it together. You got your thing. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Hit it. Oh, Jen. Fuck, Jen. Jesus.
Now I don't know where my glasses are.
That is so. I gotta take my glasses off. There's nothing sexy about that. Anyway, right now I just look like, I'm all fire.
No, but
I'm feeling off my chair.
But this has been really fun, and I'm hoping that if nothing else, the people in the chat that are still here, that are watching, have a better understanding of what the work is for. Why do we do it?
Yes.
Just like mediumship has its place, has its reasons. Healing work. It's still healing work. Psychism has its place. It's healing work, right?
Yeah.
Past life regression, healing work. I do offer, like I offer the opportunity just to do like a 1 hour and like a 1.5 hour session of just past life, but there's no healing. If you want to watch the movie, cool.
Love it.
But I guarantee you're going to want to, but you don't contact your higher self in that. So
the
other one is better. But if you just want to see the movie, then you just see the movie.
I love
it.
You just want to see the movie. I love that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But what's crazy, okay. I'm telling you, I keep seeing.
Are you having a spirit come in there? What's going on?
I'm seeing them.
I'm feeling something.
I'm
Oh, we're not doing
seeing them
mediumship,
now.
are
No,
we?
I'm not
Okay.
doing mediumship, but it's just one of those things where I actually went to the doctor and had my eyes checked to make sure I didn't have anything.
Oh
Like,
no, I can.
because I've been
Oh
seeing.
my
What is
God! I don't know,
that?
Judy.
That was cool.
That was Juju. That was Juju. Oh
Oh,
my God!
aw.
Ah,
That was awesome. You guys have the best followers.
Juju.
Amazing.
Juju pours on the gifts, dude. I mean, I'm overwhelmed.
Aw.
Overwhelmed by the show.
Well,
The
she needs to
pearl.
follow
For
me. I'm
Judy and
kidding.
Juju.
I'm
God,
joking.
Brenda.
I'm
All
good.
of Brenda and Jen.
I do a pretty good job. Like I have, nope, not going there. I've had two. I'm like,
Okay.
no, two.
You've had two what? Spirits coming in?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Like,
They're all around. Actually, they're all, yeah.
they're all around. But I'm
It's
seeing,
because
like,
they're
I'm
all
physically
around and there's a
seeing them
lull.
now.
There's a lull in the conversation. That's what
Yeah,
happens.
if we stop
I'm
talking,
like, whoa, what's going on? That's next. We'll have to do
yeah,
that another time.
yeah.
that would be fun.
Oh, they're going to come up for a, oh God, it's not even just
It-
them. It's the spirit guides too. Oh man. It's everybody
look at that.
coming in.
Carrie,
And
look, you
my
got a
Lord,
train.
Juju.
Good show.
Aw. Hi, Sammy.
Juju, I love you so much. I mean, honestly, that got you a free reading, Juju. All those, whatever you
Man,
showed
look at
me,
that.
just call me. Call me. Juju spoils.
All right, ladies. Y'all know I've been up since.
I know.
Dude.
We know what's going on. We love you. We love you.
I am
We love you.
exhausted.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
in the process
amazing.
of moving stuff into storage, so it's yeah.
Love you so much. And we adore you, Jen, so much. We love you. We love Luke. And then Lorinda, we love
Yes,
you.
Luke, Lauren, thank you.
So much.
Yes.
Get
Thank
some
you
rest,
guys.
get some rest.
Awesome audience. Great, fantastic questions. Good, thought provoking. You know, we all grow, learn together. So some of these questions I was like, oh, that's such a good question. So thank you guys for being engaged.
I think we're going to do
audience.
something
Great
again,
questions.
but we don't know what that is yet because Spirit hasn't given it to us yet. We don't know, right?
will.
Something. It's coming.
But I'm sure
After Jen
I'll
moves.
get it. I'm sure I'll get it like at 7 in the morning, and I'm 3 hours ahead of these. 3
And you
hours
can go
of Carrie.
ahead. And you can
And
go
I'll-
ahead. Early. Early. That's what we do. Okay, go to bed, Jen. Love
Yes.
you,
Go to
love
bed,
you,
Jen.
love you so
Love
much.
y'all.
Great live. Thanks, everybody. And thanks, Juju. I mean, I love everybody, but Juju gets the Juju for the win with a shell.
She wins.
Train.
She wins.
What the hell?
I haven't got
Love you
a
guys.
train.
I know you're not right. See you later.
Bye, everybody. Good night. Love you all.